Alright, story time. This story in particular, I've been wanting to make a story time video about this for a long time, but this is going to be relatively short. But I figured of all things to start off with, I'm going to talk about the Christmas party, because the Christmas party has been talked about for generations at this point, and I need to set this straight. Now, for you guys who don't know, here it is. Here's me probably at one of my dumbest moments, and I'm really, really bad that none of it was caught on camera, but it is what it is, and I'm going to tell you what I remember, because it involves lots of alcohol, and boom. Christmas of, it's 2018, 2017, 2016. Christmas of 2016, I think, or 2017. I'm really bad with thinking. It had to be 2016, because it hasn't been Christmas yet. We go to Brian's house, our bass player, and we go to his house, and he's like, yo man, well, before we go to his house, he's like, we're having a giant Christmas party. My family is personally inviting all of you, me, Chris Leba, Chris Cresmo, to come to this Christmas party that they're having. Apparently it's like, they do this every year, it's really big, it's pajama themed, so we had to go and get pajamas. Brian's sister was there, Brian's whole family was there, their family's family, friends, and then us. And so we pull up in the middle of Long Island on some Christmas night, and we were like, oh man, I hope I don't do anything to embarrass myself. And I will, but not yet. But we walk in there and walk up the steps, and at first everything is wonderful. The party's like bumping all that eggnog drinking music, and I decided to do my thing. I'm really bad in social scenarios, so my go-to initially is to go straight to the kitchen, beeline that shit towards the kitchen, because I feel like if I'm around food, I have automatic things to occupy my hands. And Brian's house is built, like, at least the floor where the party was happening is sort of built in this weird rotary thing. So it's like, you walk into the front door, right? Well, from your perspective, it's going to be really, really weird to picture, really. Okay, hold on. I have this box. You walk in through, it's weird. You walk into here. This is the door, right? So you walk down, and this is going to be, to your left is going to be, oh, wrong one. This way is going to be Brian's living room. Then this way is going to be the kitchen. Then this way is going to, then this way is going to be like, whatever. It's a box. Essentially, you get the idea. It's a giant box. There's finger foods over there. They have giant TV, a bunch of hors d'oeuvre stuff, whatever. No, like, real food. Like, we walked there and Brian was like, yo, this is going to be mad food. You're going to be eating. You're going to be doing the damn thing. And I'm like, aight. And then we get there, and it's like cheese and crackers and shit, and your boy's mad. But I'm like, okay, I'm gonna survive this party, because everybody's cool, everybody's like, like, whatever, these are my people. So I go to the kitchen and I see these box of cookies, and they're like the weird purple star Christmas cookies, aka they're drugs to me. So I go down there and I'm like, yo, it's going on. Finger food's on deck. I'm munching these cookies down. So I ate the whole box of cookies, and I'm like, that's it. Like, whatever happens tonight, cloud 9, because it's already starting up there. And then the alcohol comes out, like, immediately. Brian's mom walks over. She's like, to me and Leba. And she's just like, well, do you guys want to eat? She walks over with these, she's like, do you guys want mudslides? And she hands us these two, like, crazy tall drinks. And I look at Chris, and I'm like, it's on. And we start drinking that, and mid-sip, she looks over to Chris, and she's like, we got some of that rosé. And then Chris looked at me, and then I looked at Chris, and then Chris just vanished. And he was outside where the rosé was. So I follow Chris. We go on our merry adventure. We start drinking that. And before we know it, we're going around the room just like consuming copious amounts of liquid. It's just insane. And I look at Brian, and Brian understands that something's about to happen, but Brian was already dealing with, his family and like the festivities of the party, so his hands were tied. And, and Chris was just, chilling, laxing, he was just being Chris. The night progresses on, and I'm telling you, it went from here to here, and here's where shit starts getting really, really insane. So, at this point, me and Lebo are drunk. We're lightweights, but we can be pushed to the limit. And, like, we start playing this game. We start playing this game called Spin the Shot. This game is the devil. Alright, pretty much you put this cup in the middle, and the cup has a little arrow around it. and you flick the arrow, and whoever the arrow lands on is the unlucky SOB who has to take that shot. And it was me, it was Leba, it was Brian's mom, it was another, like, some other dude, a big tall Irish dude, and some other lady, like 2 of her friends, and we're all playing spin the shots. And me and Leba just keep getting hit. Like, it keeps hitting me. I'm like, no. And by shot number 14, I'm telling this all within an hour. So I'm destroyed. I had like, that night I had like 17, and Leba had like 14 on top of the mudslides and the rosé and the sambuca. And I remember the big Irish guy was like, drink up, you bitch. And I was like, I am not a bitch. And it was just like, back to back to back to back to back, right? So at this point, my brain's on like blue screen of death, like System Restore, and I sit down by the couch, and I'm knocked out. Leba's across from me. Leba's knocked out. And from what people are telling me, Leba got up to go to the bathroom, and he collapsed in the bathroom and just like knocked out in there. Chris and I had to go in there and go pick him up. And meanwhile, I'm slumped over at the couch. Chris has a photo of me at this Christmas party where he's next to like my drunk body, and he's like, he has that, and he keeps sending it to me. I'm over here drunk, and I'm like slumped over, and Brian sees me, and he sees me where I'm looking over, and I was gonna puke or something. So they run over with these pans. Remember those purple cookies I was talking about earlier? Yeah, those. I ended up puking them, and they were purple, and it was everywhere, and it got on the couch, and it got on Brian and his hands, and maybe in Chris's car. I'm puking, and I puked in the couch, and then I puked on Brian's sister, and all I hear is, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. And they fill up like 3 pans full of puke, and then they throw it out, they throw it on the lawn, the backyard, and then Label starts puking, and then there's a fight happening. It's just a madhouse. I go to the bathroom, so I'm gets clean up or whatever, because they had to basically throw away my sweater because it was covered in vomit. But I go to the bathroom, pee or whatever, and I come outside, and the guy who was getting, and I found out later it was Brian's dad who got mad at the dude for trying to make advances towards Brian's mom or something. Like, Brian's dad was like, yo, you know, like, fuck you, get the fuck out of the house. So, like, the guy, and my drunk ass, I come over, and I'm like, hey, man, it was a great party, man. Keep your head up. And I fucking give him a high five, and everybody's staring at me, and I'm super drunk, and I go to the lawn. And from here, Marvin's not home anymore. This is all from other people's stories. Like, I'm apparently screaming on the lawn at, like, 2 a.m, like, yelling at Chris to take me home. And Chris is like, Marvin, we have to get your sweater on. And I'm like, no, why is it so cold? Like screaming, like blood-curdling screaming. And they had to wrestle me they had to wrestle me in the car. Like, basically, Chris just like dealt with my whining and like pushed me to his car where I blacked out. And then like, so I get home, the next day I wake up, blistering hangover, and I talk to Chris, you know, thank him for dealing with my lifeless corpse. I apologize to Brian, and then tell him to apologize to his sister for me, because she's been scarred ever since because I peeked on her. And like, apparently Chris got beat up by Leba's older sister, because Leba's older sister found him bringing Chris home and then thought he was an intruder, and I basically like beat him up. So Chris got beat up by Leba's sister, and that's gonna be the story for today. So that's the drunk Marvin Thompson drunk Christmas party story. Hope you guys liked it, and deuces.